This time, we will explore one of the most unique techniques in Jujutsu Kaisen, the 10 Shadows technique. This inherited technique of the Zen'in clan is exceptionally rare and powerful. It allows the user to employ their own shadow as a medium to summon 10 different Shikigami. To perform the summoning, the user forms a hand sign resembling an animal, thereby calling forth the corresponding Shikigami. Although it is a signature technique of the Zen'in clan, its rarity makes it so that, throughout the current storyline, only Fushiguro Megumi possesses it. Even within the present Zen'in family, no one else is capable of wielding the 10 Shadows technique. This fact elevates Megumi as a truly special character, carrying the responsibility of inheriting and advancing his clan's legacy of power. The first Shikigami Megumi uses in the anime is the Divine Dogs, a pair of twin hounds. They excel in combat versatility, launching fierce attacks with claws and fangs to swiftly eliminate weaker curses, while also boasting a sharp sense of smell and intuition to perceive cursed energy. When summoned, both dogs can appear simultaneously. The white divine dog bears a downward-pointing marking on its forehead, while the black divine dog has an upward-pointing one. This pair is also the most frequently summoned Shikigami, making them Megumi's most familiar combat partners. However, during the Juvenile Detention Center incident, the white divine dog was killed by a special grade curse. Its remaining power then merged with the black divine dog, creating a new form, the divine dog, Totality. This Shikigami carries both markings on its body and possesses offensive strength great enough to injure Hanami, a special grade curse famed for impenetrable defense. Beyond that, its superior speed allows it to carry Megumi on its back while still maneuvering freely. With its perfect balance of offense, defense, and agility, the divine dog, Totality, became a true trump card in Megumi's summoning arsenal. Nue is a massive masked bird with markings similar to Orochi engraved on its body. It can fly and carry a passenger, though it is unsuitable for long-distance travel. Nue's primary attack is to dive at its target while cloaked in electricity, paralyzing the enemy upon impact. It can also generate a surge of electricity that spreads outward, creating a barrier between itself and its opponent. Thanks to its mix of mobility and firepower, Nue is among the Shikigami Megumi employs most frequently. Orochi is a giant serpent marked on its forehead. At one point, Sukuna briefly used it as a means of rapid movement, but it was destroyed soon after. Due to its short appearance, Orochi remains a relatively obscure Shikigami, rarely mentioned again. Gama, a massive toad with a mirror-shaped marking on its belly, is not particularly adept at offense but proves useful in battle with its long tongue. It can restrain enemies, assist allies, or provide mobility. This Shikigami was one of Megumi's early mainstays. Later, Megumi innovated a new variant, Winged Gama, a smaller form of Gama equipped with wings. Though weaker than Nue or the original Gama, Winged Gama can be summoned in large numbers and resummoned if destroyed. Thanks to this flexibility, Megumi often favors Winged Gama, though with the limitation that it cannot be summoned if Nue or the original Gama has already been destroyed. Bansho, the massive elephant with a mirror-shaped marking on its forehead, is a Shikigami that Fushiguro tamed right before the Kyoto Goodwill event. It wields overwhelming firepower, capable of unleashing torrents of water from its trunk to sweep away enemies, while also using its enormous body to crush foes. However, Bansho consumes a tremendous amount of cursed energy and struggles against opponents with high speed. Notably, Sukuna once used Bansho to deploy a form of domain amplification, underscoring the Shikigami's power and dangerous potential. Rabbit Escape is a swarm of white rabbits summoned in overwhelming numbers. Within the horde, only one carries a special marking on its back. If that one is destroyed, the entire swarm vanishes instantly. While nearly powerless offensively, their sheer numbers make them excellent tools for distraction, obscuring vision, and misdirecting enemies. Because of this, Fushiguro frequently relies on Rabbit Escape during battles to turn the tide. Madoka is a colossal deer, towering over a human, with 4 eyes and a marking on its neck. The area surrounding Madoka is enveloped by a reverse curse technique, allowing it to heal wounds for both the summoner and allies, while simultaneously nullifying the effects of enemy cursed energy. As a defensive Shikigami, it is extraordinarily valuable, since mastering the reverse curse technique is notoriously difficult. Subjugating Madoka is also considered one of the most formidable challenges Fushiguro has ever faced. Kongu, the giant ox, marked with the number 8, is renowned for its overwhelming physical strength. It attacks with full force charges, throwing the entirety of its weight into direct collisions. Its weakness lies in being restricted to straight-line movement, but the longer the charge, the more devastating the impact becomes, powerful enough to crush enemies outright. In terms of raw firepower, Kongu is considered one of the strongest Shikigami in the 10 Shadows technique. Additionally, there exists a mysterious Shikigami whose name has been revealed, but whose abilities remain unknown. Based on its name, many fans speculate it to be a tiger, possibly bearing its marking along its back. With only its title revealed and no demonstration in the story, it remains one of the greatest mysteries, fueling fan curiosity and anticipation. The composite Shikigami is a fusion-type Shikigami created by Fushiguro, combining Nue and Madoka. Unlike its original forms, the composite Shikigami manifests as a humanoid woman with an unsettling appearance, often compared to Aion from Bleach. It unites the strengths of both, striking with lightning like Nue while using Madoka's reverse curse technique to heal itself and allies. This combination results in a versatile Shikigami, both mobile and dangerous, suitable for offense and defense alike. However, its power is entirely dependent on Madoka. If Madoka is destroyed, the link breaks, causing the composite Shikigami to disappear as well, depriving the summoner of a crucial tool in battle. Eight-handled sword. Divergent Scylla Divine General Mahoraga is the most powerful Shikigami in the Ten Shadows technique, regarded as the ultimate trump card of the Zen'in clan sorcerers. Throughout history, no one has ever successfully tamed Mahoraga. Inspired by Japanese mythology, Mahoraga embodies overwhelming might, nearly impossible to subjugate, and can only be summoned as a suicidal move to drag the enemy down with it. Mahoraga specializes in close combat, boasting extraordinary speed and physical strength. It wields the eight-handled sword, attached to its right arm, capable of obliterating enemies with a single strike. Yet its most terrifying ability is its capacity to adapt to any attack. Whenever it sustains damage, Mahoraga immediately recalibrates its offense and defense, regenerating and devising more effective countermeasures. As battles drag on, it becomes increasingly invincible, rendering opponents nearly helpless. Furthermore, Mahoraga can distribute damage across its linked entities while expanding the range of its abilities, creating an overwhelming and unpredictable offensive force. Only devastatingly powerful strikes delivered at the very start have any chance of completely destroying it. If given time to adapt, the fight becomes a stalemate. Mahoraga has already demonstrated its terrifying power by posing immense difficulties for both Sukuna and Gojo, constantly adapting and elevating its offensive capabilities. Ultimately, it was annihilated by Gojo's full-powered Hollow Purple, yet from beginning to end, it remained a constant, formidable threat. Thanks to Mahoraga, the Ten Shadows technique ascends into one of the most overpowered abilities in the series, so overwhelming that fans often refer to it as Immortal Mahoraga. Next, let us analyze the domain expansion of the Ten Shadows technique, Chimera Shadow Garden, the skill Megumi Fushiguro learned at Tokyo Jujutsu High. When activated, a space filled with liquid-like shadows manifests, with enormous vertebrae floating throughout. Within this domain, Megumi can generate countless shadows without limit, transforming them into Shikigami, clones, or decoys, granting him versatile and adaptive combat options. If enemies fail to reinforce their footing with cursed energy, they are swallowed by the liquid shadows beneath them. Inside this space, there is no oxygen, no buoyancy, and no supporting energy. Once dragged under, defeat is virtually inevitable. Meanwhile, Megumi can move freely, even if his body remains physically still, thanks to his mastery of the technique. However, this domain is still incomplete. Rather than an independent barrier, it relies on existing structures and physical surroundings as an external frame to confine opponents. This makes it an imperfect domain. Even so, Megumi can still neutralize an opponent's domain and push his technique to 120% of its potential, enhancing his combat flexibility. The drawback is that an imperfect domain cannot withstand simplified domains, as seen in his fight with Reggie-Star. Should Megumi refine it into a complete domain, he would not only be able to imprison enemies like a true barrier, but also enforce guaranteed hits, a powerful and highly advantageous combination. Another benefit of this form of expansion is its ability to forcibly enclose space by using physical structures. Normally, fighters with heavenly restriction are difficult to trap within domains. Yet with this strategy, Megumi can physically confine them, allowing the shadows to engulf his targets. In this way, Chimera Shadow Garden becomes a potential counter to the physically gifted, and if perfected, it could grant Megumi the power to defeat them outright. In summary, the Ten Shadows technique offers overwhelming advantages. The sheer variety of techniques, the individual strength of each Shikigami, and extraordinary flexibility in combat. It is without doubt one of the strongest techniques in the entire series. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. If you found this content engaging, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss the latest uploads. See you next time!